Welcome to Modern Day Masterpiece. I'm joined by my co-host Josh. My name is Caleb. And
I gotta wait.
yeah, and if you were like us, you got really excited during the Super Bowl last night, or whenever this goes up. But Sunday night, there's an amazing ad for a new movie on Netflix called
Event Horizon.
called The Cloverfield Paradox. And I watched the movie last night, but I rewatched it again with you because he was super late to the party, a whole 18, 20 hours late to the party. But I've seen it twice now, and we're going to give you our opinion and recap and overall feelings, and does it flow good with the Cloverfield universe?
It sucked.
Let's start.
That's all you need to say. It sucked. There's a reason why it has a 14 on Rotten Tomatoes. There's a
I think
reason.
it has like an 18 now.
Well, people are lying to themselves.
Sure, but still. I watched the movie last night, and as I was watching the movie, about 15 minutes in, I noticed something was wrong, and I was like, the flow is...
You know what was wrong? You know what? I'll tell you what was wrong. You went into it expecting a Cloverfield movie, and that's not what you got.
It's not... Honestly, it's not even that, really.
That's what it is for me.
Because I know better, because 10 Cloverfield Lane, you maybe thought, because it had the word Cloverfield in it, that, oh, this is going to be a Cloverfield movie, but that was not a Cloverfield movie. That was just a really good bottle thriller film that throws in some science fiction elements at the end. Now this, as I was watching it, the pacing is ridiculously fast, like crazy fast. From the get-go, it's just hand-feeding you exposition. Exposition, like, it's like, well, this is what's happening here, and this is why we have to do this, and this, and this, and this. It's like, seriously? It's like, do you think that we are dumb? Do you think that the audience is dumb? Then they get to space, and it looks fine, and the opening credits looks cool, and the music by Barry McCreary is actually pretty good and theatrical, but that's one of the only things that's theatrical about the movie, I think.
I don't even know who's in this movie other than the guy from...
Well, it's got a big cast, man.
Well, I mean...
It's got a big cast. Yeah.
Sure.
David Oyelowo played Martin Luther King Jr. a couple years ago, and you have...
Sure. Sure.
And you have Chris...
I know the guy from Civil War.
You have Chris O'Dowd.
That's it.
Chris O'Dowd's a comedian. He was the comedic relief in the movie. But the lead actress, I could not even begin to tell you how to pronounce her name, because I can't. You can look it up. We'll put it in text at the bottom here. But I don't know how to pronounce her name, but honestly, she is really, really good. But the problem is, actually, the whole cast is really good. The problem is that what they're given...
It's a plot. It's a plot problem.
What they're given dialogue-wise and plot-wise is not good.
Do you feel like...
It's not good.
Maybe I'm wrong, but it feels like... I know this movie was already like wrote and filmed and everything. It was done in a nice little package. Do you feel like they cut the stuff that made sense out of the movie? Are you sleepy? Did that movie bore you?
No. The movie was a little bit of a struggle the second time through, but I think we had some fun times making fun of it.
But it feels like that they cut stuff out that would like help further the plot, and then put stuff in it that was Cloverfield.
I don't think so. I don't think they had an idea of what they were doing anyways, like plot-wise, before it became a Cloverfield movie when it was the God Particle. This is a movie that was written before 10 Cloverfield Lane. And J.J. Abrams and Bad Robot decided, hey, let's convert this to a Cloverfield movie. Whereas when 10 Cloverfield Lane was just a regular thriller and they converted it to a Cloverfield universe movie, it didn't feel that jarring. The science fiction stuff is a little different than the stuff earlier. In this movie, the second they mentioned the word Cloverfield in this movie, they're like, oh my god, that was clearly added on in post. Like, yeah, they have the crazy scientist guy. That's like this is...
You notice that guy plays a crazy scientist guy in like a lot of stuff.
Does he?
He plays like a crazy...
I know he's in Gotham, the show Gotham. He's not a crazy scientist, he's a detective.
I've seen him in something else where it seems like he plays that typical
I've never seen him play that. I've never seen him play that character.
I can't figure out where I've placed him.
Well, regardless, he's talking about how what they're doing could open up a portal or whatever.
A wormhole!
And unleash...
in the space-time continuum, because we haven't heard that before.
It's going to unleash demons...
Event Horizon.
Demons and monsters and sea creatures.
Sea creatures.
Which, as we know... is what we think the Cloverfield monster in the original movie is.
I think Merman from Cabin in the Woods.
That too. But the problem with the movie is that, yeah, as a science fiction movie, it's got problems. Whenever they're up in space, it has problems. It's introducing cool and decent ideas. Of course, they're not the most original ideas, but they're interesting at least. There's no payoff to any of that. And some people could say, well, it's because, they're going to another dimension and chaos is taking over. It's like, no, I need a little bit more
than that.
And if that was that alone, that movie was that alone, I wouldn't be as upset. but they try to add on Cloverfield, and they can do whatever they want with this B science fiction movie, but once they start to mess up my Cloverfield and my Cloverfield world, I'm like, no, that does not tie in with the original or the second one, regardless if they think it does. There's opportunities towards the end.
My whole problem is that I had the movie spoiled for me, of course, because people can't keep their mouths shut for 24 hours.
Shouldn't have got on the internet.
Anyway, so I knew what the final scene of the movie was. Needless to say, that's not what I envisioned when I saw the final part of the movie. When, the Cloverfield monster... Spoiler alert. No, you spoiled it for me.
This is a spoiler.
So, you know what?
This is a spoiler. You can't review this movie without it being a spoiler.
When a, Jacob's Ladder all the way to the heavens Cloverfield monster pops up out of the clouds at the end, what, is that the sea creature? Is that a secret? Is it like Godzilla, but on a whole new level?
Here's the thing. That's clearly not the monster from the first Cloverfield
That thing
movie.
mutated.
That thing mutated. That's not the first monster. That's not the monster from the original Cloverfield. Even J.J. Abrams said that the monster in the first Cloverfield was a baby. So this was clearly the mother or whatever. So whenever people try to say, "Oh, that's at the end, that's where they're going," that's where the Cloverfield starts, the first movie. I'm like, no. Because that monster was nowhere to be found.
No.
And also, there was no war going on at that time. There was a monster that arose from the sea, and it caused chaos in New York City. And in this movie, it does not make a lick of sense. It does not.
Remember last night? Do you remember last night when we saw the trailer and me and you were so ecstatic. We were like, "Oh God, Cloverfield 3. Thank you for letting us down, J.J. Abrams. We appreciate it."
There's never been a time where I got so excited about a movie and then felt so let down, literally 4 hours later.
Immediately.
And as this movie ended, the first time I watched it, I was just like, well.
There's always one bad one in the bunch.
It wasn't the worst thing, but
it was close. Oh my God! No wonder it's got such bad reviews.
Clearly, it was. They made the wise decision. If the movie's good or bad, it was a monumental decision to market this the night that it was released. That's crazy, but they did that for a reason. There's a reason why it's a Netflix movie. They didn't want bad press to come out because it would have got bad reviews in advance, and people went out to watch it. But with all of that being said, yeah, the Cloverfield tie-ins don't work. Yeah, a lot of the stuff they bring up in space does not add up at all. But the movie is not boring, in the slightest.
Of course not.
I don't think the movie's boring at all.
It's not boring because it's so bad you can't look away.
I don't think it's that bad.
It is that bad.
Here's why it's not that bad.
It's the worst. It might be the worst movie I've seen in the past 2 years.
It's the worst movie I've seen this year because it's the only movie I've seen from this year.
Yeah.
So by default, but I'd say this is the worst movie I've seen since
At least Wish Upon was. I'm always going to go back to Wish Upon because it was a bad good.
Here's what keeps this movie a little bit above ground for me is that the performances are very good across the board. All the performances are good. Every actor is good.
Yeah. The poor dude who lost his arm.
Poor guy.
The poor guy who lost his arm was the best guy in the movie. However, he took his arm being cut off a little bit too well.
But that was used as comedic relief, which might not have worked in the movie that well. But
not much worked in the movie very well.
I think the production design is really good and interesting, and I think the CG, I'd say 85 to 90% of the CG
I'm going to research this.
Is quite good.
I'm serious.
But it's a story issue. This is a half-baked idea to connect all the Cloverfield movies that doesn't work, and it's also a half-baked idea to talk about paradoxes and interesting stuff that...
It seems like they were trying to open a door to, saying, okay, this can happen here, but Cloverfield 4 is going to do something else, a whole completely different dimension. But it's going to tie in, don't worry, because we can't have Cloverfield 1 and 2 be in the same dimension, and then 3 just be off in La La Land.
In the movie, they speak about 2 dimensions, and as far as I'm concerned, neither of the first 2 movies happen in those 2 dimensions. If I'm thinking back to what happened in those movies, I'm like, well, there's clearly a timeline issue here. There's things that's brought up in those first 2 movies that I don't hear about at all in this movie. There's just war going on in this movie. What did you stumble upon, Josh?
You know what the budget was for this movie?
Let me guess.
Go ahead.
$30 million.
Try again.
Was it less? More? 60.
$45.
Okay.
$45 million for a Netflix movie.
It looks pretty good for a $45 million movie.
It does.
I just wish they had a better story to
But
go
it's a
along
Netflix
with it.
movie, and I wonder how.
I think Bright cost about $90
I
million.
wonder how much Netflix paid for that. Because you got ripped off.
Everybody,
Netflix.
I think everybody got off easy because a lot of people are watching this movie, so that's not an issue.
But for the wrong reason.
That doesn't matter. You know, Bright was one of the worst reviewed movies of the year last year, and
I haven't watched it yet.
It was the most watched movie on Netflix. So I mean, there's no such thing as bad press. They put out the.
I beg to differ.
They put out the trailer or the teaser the night that it was released, and it was the most excited that I've been in a long time, as well as other people.
And it was also the most disappointed you've been in a long time. So
I was very, very, very disappointed in this movie. It is a mess.
He's
like
not wrong, folks. It's a mess. It is a legitimate mess.
The tie-ins for the Cloverfield universe literally will just make your head explode thinking about it. And that's not a good thing, I don't think. It's not like an interesting, like, oh, I want to do research. It's whenever you're reading other fans' theories, we're like, all these people are just bullcrapping
There
us. They're
is a
all just
time
lying.
paradox in which all the things clash together, but when the Cloverfield monster shows up at the end, that's where the first film starts, and then when the first film starts, you know when the satellite at the end and the credits is coming down, and when the credits and then it hits water, that is when the first film actually starts.
You know what? And here's a huge
Bullshit.
a huge missed opportunity. Of course, if it would have been a better movie, it would have been a lot better. But at the end, you know, at the end of Cloverfield, it shows the footage from earlier when
the Ferris wheel thing.
The Ferris wheel thing.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be a
That's
satellite.
what I'm talking about.
That's not them at the end of the movie at all. That's not that.
Because you know why? Because you know why?
That monster is not out yet.
No, hold on. That's the alternate dimension when the spaceship in Cloverfield Paradox is in the water.
Sure.
Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
I didn't understand that.
Okay.
This is a confusing movie.
Hold on. Okay, in Paradox.
Yeah.
The movie we just watched.
We did watch
Do
it.
you remember when the spaceship was in the water?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That.
From the Cloverfield space station.
The Cloverfield, yeah, because
The
that's
Cloverfield
how you
space
tie
station.
it in. Cloverfield
Okay,
Space Station.
continue.
When it's in the water,
Yeah.
the ending of Cloverfield 1 is that scene.
The ending of Cloverfield 1?
The Ferris wheel thing is what is taking place that's crashing to the ground. That is the only thing that could make sense.
If I'm not mistaken, the Cloverfield space station thing that is something that's been brought up in the years past. Like that's a fan theory thing, and they
you legitimately see something fall.
And they shoehorn that footage in. That's footage that's
Right.
been filmed years ago, and they shoehorn it into this movie.
Yeah.
That does make sense, but at the end, like I said, that Cloverfield monster is as tall as the sky. And that monster was not around in that movie, or around in Cloverfield Lane. There was aliens in that movie, so that's a whole other dimension that I don't know.
That's the thing. Like I just feel like with this movie, like because Cloverfield 1 is a great monster movie.
It is a great monster movie.
Cloverfield or 10 Cloverfield Lane, and I'll call it Cloverfield 2 just because it's just I know it's not what it's called, but you know what I mean. Cloverfield 2, 10 Cloverfield Lane, whatever you want to call it, is such a wonderful, submersive. What's the word I want to call it? Just isolation piece.
Yeah, it's a bottle film.
And then at the end of that movie, when they're able to go off and you can branch it off into something else, you try to explain the whole universe in a 108-minute film, and
it makes you question why you ever wanted to know anything about Cloverfield.
Yeah,
after this movie,
yeah.
like I don't. Like people have been wanting to see that Cloverfield monster for years now in a movie, and now you're questioning what you wanted. You're like, I didn't want that because that was not good. Like that was shoehorned, and that last shot of the Cloverfield monster just literally comes out of nowhere.
Yeah,
it's like no, and I've seen where people are like, that's awesome. It's like no, it's like you're lying to yourself because you're happy that you see the Cloverfield monster, but within the context of the movie, it does not make sense. I want Cloverfield to get back to the roots. I hope the next Cloverfield movie, which is apparently done, and it's supposed to take place during World War II, I hope it's just another weird little science fiction movie. That's what I hope. I don't want any tie-ins. I just want little like little like Easter eggs. That's all I need.
Because
I
when
don't want
the
tie-ins.
Cloverfield space station went through a time paradox, they said it was something about the past will change, the future will change, the present will change. Guess what? Hitler is now a Cloverfield monster. How do you like that as a tie-in?
I'd be okay with that. Let's do it. I'm joking. But when you watch the teaser, you assume this was going to be a prequel. If anything, this movie takes place like way in the future, apparently. And I thought watching it again, I would understand it more. No, just way more questions, not enough answers. It's whatever. But
what was the movie that was that way not too long ago, where we watched it and you were just like, I got more questions than I do answers with it? What movie was that we watched last year?
Was that not Alien Covenant? It's a lot like Alien Covenant.
J.J. Abrams pulling a page out of Ridley Scott's book.
But
because we don't know where we're going with a franchise.
All I know
so
is that
we'll just curveball it off to something else.
I'm glad this got a Netflix release because I wouldn't be as generous as I am if I'd watched it on the big screen. I'm comparing it to a movie that I watched last year that came out a little out of nowhere called Life, which is a space station movie.
I've heard that's okay.
That's an okay movie. That is a good.
I want to see
it. That is a really good monster movie. Compared to this, yeah, this does not hold a candle. I'd say this is more on par with Alien Covenant. Alien Covenant might be slightly better, if anything, but I don't.
There's nothing pill to swallow.
There's nothing else I can really talk about this movie. It's a major, major, major disappointment on so many levels, and it's not like it ruins the Cloverfield series for me. I still want to watch more Cloverfield movies. I just hope they don't try this half-baked idea of connecting all the universes
together. Can I finish
together.
my point, though? Because I was talking earlier about 1 and 2, right?
Yeah.
3 could have been... J.J. Abrams could have made this into a modern-day Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
Yeah,
It had the first 2 films had the potential to be a modern-day, big-budgeted Twilight Zone-style franchise. Yeah. And then with this one, he shit the bed. And I don't think there's a recovery for it. I don't.
We'll just wait and see. All I know is that those first 2 movies are great, and I'll stick with that. This is a major drop-off in quality, not from a production angle, but from a screenwriting angle.
From a story standpoint, it was almost like...
The dialogue is kind of bad, too. So it's...
When did 10 Cloverfield Lane come out?
2016.
So and Cloverfield came out in 2008.
2008. So...
I mean, it took you 8 years... 8 years to do Cloverfield or 10 Cloverfield Lane, or to find a movie that was good enough to be called
to attach the Cloverfield name to it.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, it's clearly not a Cloverfield sequel, but it's in the Cloverfield universe, and that's okay.
And then you have like 2 years. Hold on, I read something earlier that I thought was very. The film has been in development since 2012. This is God Particle.
The
Cloverfield 3.
Yeah.
Paradox. Okay. So, the movie has been in development since 2012. Now, apparently, the other movie, Cloverfield 2, was what? It was filmed right around the same time, wasn't it? In development? I mean, it had to be.
I guess, man. I don't know.
There's a reason why you chose 10 Cloverfield Lane to come out first.
Yeah.
Because if you'd have done this movie, or if you'd have done Cloverfield 1, then this movie, then 3, I don't think 3 would have got released.
Maybe not.
I don't think you would have. I don't think it would have.
This was, like I said it much times, just a half-baked idea to mix 2 things together that do not work. Sort of like an Alien Covenant mixing a Prometheus movie with an Alien movie. It does not work. I don't know.
One of my least favorite films.
I don't know which one works less, but all I know is that I was majorly disappointed.
This movie.
I was majorly disappointed by both. This is up there with Alien Covenant and Kingsman: The Golden Circle for me for major disappointments of a series that I truly loved and was close to my heart. But that's all we can really talk about in this movie. It's not a great movie.
What are you giving it?
That's what I mean. That's why I was jumping to the score. Yes, last night
you gave it a C+.
I gave it a C+ because I was interested to see what was going to happen, and then I was staying up all night because I'm up all night, as you know, just reading theories, and then coming to the conclusion that it's all bogus and there's no connections at all. I'm dropping it down to a C-, actually. I'm still not going to that D territory because it is undeniably entertaining and there's some humorous bits here and there, and the musical score is good, CG's good, performances are good. So it's not a bad movie all around. It just has a bad script, and it doesn't know what it's doing. What do you give it?
D-.
D-. Whoa, that's slow. But I don't blame you.
D minus.
I don't blame you.
As much hyped as I have been for that movie in, waiting for it after the end of 3.
All 4 hours.
No,
joking.
I'm talking about since 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah.
Whenever
Well,
10 Cloverfield Lane ended, we come out of the theater going, man, can't wait for part 3.
Because
it set up a part 3.
I would not have minded a continuation from 10 Cloverfield
Yes!
Lane. I'm not going to lie. Because
Give me John Goodman.
Because that last 10 minutes was a separate movie, but I was like, I'd watch a whole movie of that.
Yeah. And you could have set that up, and it would have been perfectly fine.
I'd be okay with that. I want a science fiction movie of that, but I don't think we're ever going to get that.
Nope.
But
not for another 10 years.
Our only hope is that the next movie, which is apparently done and takes place during World War II, is better than this, because this was a major drop-off. So, you give it a D minus?
So altogether, we rank the movie a D.
A D. We give it a D. Not great. It's not what I anticipated. I thought I'd be coming out and giving it like a B plus or an A minus, and not even close. This is the worst movie I've seen in quite a while, but I've been watching a lot of bangers lately. We've watched a lot of Oscar movies, so that doesn't help.
But even then,
yeah, I know.
That doesn't matter. You told me when we started watching the film to check my expectations at the door. I still checked my expectations at the door, and I was still let down.
Yeah, but that's going to wrap up our review. We don't really like the movie, but I don't hate it as much as him. It's getting a lot of negative press, but I've seen where a lot of people still enjoy it. I think they're lingering onto that Cloverfield name a little bit too tight, maybe.
See, I don't linger because here's the thing: I saw Cloverfield later than you all.
Yeah,
the first Cloverfield I saw in like 2011.
Yeah,
so
it's a series that I love, and this makes me question why I ever wanted to know more about it in the first place. Because if it's going to be like this, I don't want to know more about it.
Like, why not make it like Godzilla?
Yeah.
You could have made a Godzilla film. Speaking of which, when do we get Godzilla 2?
I don't know. Soon, hopefully. I hope.
That's gonna resurrect Bryan Cranston for that movie. That'd be the only thing it'd say.
He was the best thing about the first one. So
exactly.
He was in it for 10 minutes.
Kill him.
Except for Godzilla is in it in the movie for 8 minutes. So let's hope we get more Godzilla. Because I think Kong Skull Island was the better of the 2 movies. But that's gonna wrap.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
That's gonna wrap up
universe.
our the Cloverfield Paradox review. What did you think about it? What would you give it on an A plus to F minus? F minus is one of our scores now.
Oh wait, is F minus a score?
It's one of our scores.
Did I give it an F?
No, you gave it a D minus. It can't be changed.
Why you changed yours?
I changed it because I watched it again. That's going to wrap up our review. Leave a comment below. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Was you indifferent about it, sort of like me? A lot of people are tearing it apart. Please let us know. Please subscribe, and thank you for watching.